Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast. The Colts Podcast with real takes, no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. Dan, what's up?
Not too much. Got the end of a work week. Now weekend's here. Gonna watch a little bit high school football tonight, maybe a little college tomorrow, and then it's Colts season, baby. Let's get going. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready, man. But you know who's not ready? Like half the Colts offensive line, maybe. The team is nicked up. And I was kind of thinking like early this week, we were going to be a lot healthier than what we are. I know Ryan Kelly listed out with that concussion. Quentin Nelson hasn't practiced all week. He's questionable. And then the shocker, old Bernard, our left tackle, he's going to be out for this game, which kind of caught me by surprise. How are you feeling about all that?
Yeah, I mean, hey, this is the NFL. We're almost done with the first quarter of the season, moving in to kind of that grind, and it is. It's sometimes it's not the best team on paper. It's the team that's the most healthy, and you're going up against a Rams defense with Aaron Donald. You don't want three-fourths or three-fifths of your offensive line out, and your quarterback that's just coming off a concussion looks like he's going to start. So that's good news for Anthony Richardson. I don't know if he's officially been cleared, but he's practiced the last three in a row, so
Yeah,
he's
he's
going to
going to
play.
play.
So yeah, it's a little having me concerning here, and now we got Shane Steichen going against Sean McVay, kind of one of the guru offensive guys in the NFL. So I'm excited how this kind of matchup plays out. We got a Rams team that loves to pass. They don't run much. We got a young secondary that's kind of been exposed by a few people. So I think there's intriguing matchups all over the place. I'm really excited about this, but nervous at the same time. How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Obviously, we have the injuries, but at the end of the day, this Rams team isn't what they were 2, 3 seasons ago now. And when I look at it, and when I look at the Colts schedule, if they could find a way to win this game with the injuries, we have a big one against the Titans a week after, so they can really, if they could find a way to win this game despite the injuries, it'll be interesting. Now, Anthony Richardson coming off a concussion, you make an interesting point. A big old Aaron Donald barreling down the middle. Um,
Yeah.
First of all, do you think Anthony Richardson's play style is going to change at all this game, or do you think their Colts are going to do anything different, or do you think they're just going to say, "Hey, we're going to draw it up and we're going to use his legs, and he's just going to have to do a better job of getting down"? What do you think is going to change now that he's had this concussion?
Yeah, that's a great question because, as we talked about a few weeks ago, how much can change in season,
Yeah,
but they can start having discussions for sure and telling them about getting out of bounds, not standing up so straight, learning how to kind of position yourself when you take a fall. But who was it? Was it Geno Smith a few weeks ago? Like Aaron Donald came around the middle, and Geno Smith was caught on the mic saying, "Oh my God."
yeah.
I think that's going to be Anthony Richardson. It gets you nervous because again, it's just one hit. It's just one kind of awkward moment, and your quarterback's messing with head injuries again. So I don't know what they can say to him. I don't know what they can fix in season, but it does have you a little concerned, and it's going to be one of the things that as Colts fans, unfortunately, until he gets through. Again, he hasn't played one game yet, one full game from start to finish. Until he starts to rack up some of those games, we're going to feel that tension.
So obviously, Colts last week against the Ravens had 30 runs with Zach Moss. I mean, that was unheard of. Really, I wasn't expecting that at all when they said by committee this year, and then you have Zach Moss toting the rock 30 times. That line beat up. I highly doubt we see numbers like that, and I'm a little worried that we might not have a good rushing game. This game, the game plan, I think will be very fascinating. Early against the Texans, we did see Richardson. He threw quite a bit early on, and then obviously there was the injury. But I'm curious if because of the injuries on the offensive line, if we're probably going to still see a lot of quick passes and just kind of how Shane's going to kind of draw up the game plan against this Rams team, who honestly, again, outside of the big names like Aaron Donald, isn't the defense isn't this ferocious defense that it was years ago. So I do think the Colts. Last time I checked the betting, they were like 1 point favorites. They're at home. I think the Colts are going to win this game. I think it's going to be close. It's really going to come down to how well are these guys going to fill in on offensive line. Will Quentin Nelson play without any practice this week? Which I think he can do it. He's a veteran. I think he can. And How is this offense going to look just without that line, with Richardson coming back from an injury, and ultimately can Buckner now come in, with no practice as well, and stuff the run like he's been stuffing, and getting the pressure on Matt Stafford, who's not a mobile quarterback. I mean, there's so many question marks when you consider injuries. It's amazing.
Well, there's just the storylines everywhere. Again, I'm glad you mentioned Buckner too, because he's another one that's a big factor on the defensive side, which the defense is playing lights out. They've been playing great. But there's just storyline about, okay, offensive line, defensive line, McVay versus Steichen, the receivers, which they don't have Cooper Kupp, thankfully.
Yeah.
But they got some guys balling over there, and we got a young secondary. So to me, this isn't one of those games I have on the calendar that they have to win because it's an NFC game, but it's a game they can win. And if this team actually wants to take that step to move beyond just the picking in the top 5 and start moving towards a playoff. And again, don't say I'm saying this is a playoff must win, but these are the kind of games when you look back over a season and say, oh, if we could have won the Rams game, if we could have won that game, if we could have won this game, is one of those games that I hope we don't blow, because there's a good chance we could win this game. And more importantly than that, though, I really want them to come out of this game healthy. I mean, we talked about all these injuries and the Titans game coming up. We can't afford to lose too many more people here. So if they can play this game, play well, and get a win and not get injuries, man, they are going to set themselves up for looking good for the middle half of this season.
Man, it's going to be exciting, especially, Juju Brent comes in last week, and he looked good. And that was such a shot in the arm for a team who looked rough at cornerback. So if he can come in and have another big week as a rookie, that would be so big for the Colts.
Well, that's the cool part. I would just interrupt you. That's the cool part about winning a game like last week when no one thought we would. Even we didn't think they would go on the road and beat Baltimore. It's now like you're kind of playing a little bit with house money. So, but you just still don't want to blow that. And so that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Let's not blow this, even though this is a little bit of house money from last week. But let's just see how all these matchups go, and I'm excited for it.
It's kind of amazing how quickly Shane Steichen has kind of turned this team around. Again, we're not saying they're a Super Bowl team, obviously. We're not even saying they're locked for a playoff team. But the fact that we're kind of thinking, hey, first of all, this team picked top 5, and we're saying, hey, you know what, this team might be the favorites this week, against a team who was actually pretty good just a season or two ago. So it's just amazing how fast things happen in the NFL and how quickly you can turn around positively like the Colts are, it appears, or negatively like the Rams have. So lots of good stuff, lots of storylines. And hey, man, we're going to be all over it on Sunday, and we'll be giving our reactions, I'm sure, when the game's done.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we appreciate you watching our show. Until next time, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're so close to 2,000. It'd mean a lot to us if you subscribe. Thanks again for watching the Common Colt Podcast, and have a great day.